Part of that is the senior employment program. We also have computer training for seniors. Anybody that's 55 plus or even younger than that, around that age. We have the computer training. It's basic with a peer coach. It's called Generations Online. We have training at the Patterson Library in Westfield, in Fredonia at the Fredonia Senior Citizen Center, and at the Jamestown Office for the Aging. So people should contact our office, and we can hook them up for a great training to start up where they learn.
Give me a phone number, one phone number.
753-4471 in Mayville.
Okay, there you go. If you want to get connected with senior jobs, they still have senior jobs?
We have senior jobs. Right now, we're not putting any new seniors on because of our wonderful congressional decision to cut our senior employment program by 45%. But we're still holding our own, and we're still working with seniors.
Why is Congress so adamant in killing senior rights and funding and money?
Well, the seniors have to start being very active, contacting the representatives.
Well, they're cutting our Medicare, or Medicaid. They are cutting senior Medicaid, but they took $500 billion. Now they say that's next. They're going to take more. $500 billion, I might add. $500 billion was just cut last year, and they're now cutting more. That's right up there. So the heck with senior health care. They're cutting our Social Security to nothing because they're not giving us a COLA. We've lost 60% of our purchasing power in the last 8 years. And on top of that, they're cutting senior office for the aging. Well, what's going on with these people?
Seniors
they're all rich?
They have to contact their representatives. They have to be very active. They have to watch how all of the congressional members vote. And one of the things that we're going to be doing with our computer training is to show people how to see how all the representatives vote, the voting records, on the Internet, and email the representatives. They have to be very active and be very astute and watch what's going on. And if they take a more active position and present their voice to their representatives, there will be more considerations for seniors.
Let's hope
They have to do it.
Let's hope so, because they're basically killing us. And it looks like a program design. No food health, no COLA, no cutting back on our health care tremendously. This Congress seems heartless to me. How dare they?
It's not everybody in Congress. Our own congressional representative was not in favor of these cuts for senior employment. His vote, we saw his voting record. He did not vote for it.
Both our senators did, and it looks like a lot of the other Congress made little deals. You know, that's a slippery thing about it, is they make little under-the-table deals.
Well, that's what we have to exert our right in our democracy. Contact them. Let them know how we feel. They have to know. If they don't hear from us, they think, oh, well, it's all right.
Well, I guess you're right. And also, we should go down and vote judiciously. Like the people that vote against us, we should vote against them, period.
Well,
en masse. And remember, the seniors control any election.
Well, seniors do vote. They do control.
Yes.
And they will pay attention. That's why they must become more active with their representatives. That's our right, and we should do it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Linda Spalding. Give them that number again if they want to get in touch with senior jobs or the computer training.
Mayville Office for the Aging, Chautauqua County, excuse me, but in Mayville, 753-4471. There are offices throughout the county.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a
great weekend and a wonderful decoration in Memorial Day.
Yes, wonderful Memorial Day. And you also tell that young man of yours that we're looking forward to seeing him tootling around his little, what do they call that thing that they have? I see it advertised all the time on TV.
Scooter?
It's a scooter type thing, but it turns on a dime. What do they call those things?
Oh, he's got a scooter, electric scooter.
Oh, okay. He's a terrific guy. You tell him I said so, okay?
I will tell him that.
Doug Spalding. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Troy, she's pointed out that they're cutting senior stuff. Are they cutting the funding? Well, we know they're cutting the funding for the veterans, but at this point you'd think they'd have to be paying more because so many more are coming back. After the wars, we got, as you pointed out, we've still got World War II guys. Not many. Gee whiz, if they were World War II, if they went in at 17 in 1942 at the earliest, How old would they be now? 17?
They usually, right now, our World War II veterans are in their 80s and 90s.
Yeah, not too many left, right?
No, they're.
And
they're
I
not.
noticed the last World War I veteran just died recently.
115 years old.
Right. We had one who was 104 here.
Yep.
Who passed away in Chautauqua County, as a matter of fact, not too long ago. So what about our funding? Is Congress coughing up more money for this, or? Well, before we answer that, maybe the caller's coming in. He'll answer it. Okay? You want to take a call?
Absolutely.
Okay. Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning. I can't answer your question. However, I do. And one thing is, enjoy, at least this morning, it's not raining this side.
It's not raining now.
That's right. I said, enjoy it while
I put my plants in a month ago. They're doing wonderfully in the rain. They love it.
Oh, I'll bet. I'll just bet.
Well, my grandpappy used to say the reason that plants take off like crazy after rain is the nitrogen, because up in the clouds there's nitrogen. There's lightning all over the place, sparks, and you see some of it, but it's fixing nitrogen into the water, and it comes down when the rain comes down. It's got nitrogen in it. So there you go.
Well, that sounds reasonable to me.
Yep, an old farmer's trick. So the hose is no good compared to the actual rainfall.
Right. And I also would like to take it I have grandchildren, as you can imagine, being as I'm a senior.
Okay.
And tomorrow is the parade, and two of my grandchildren will be marching in the parade. And for the first time, at least that I can remember, the dance studio here in Westfield will have a little unit in the parade.
The what in Westfield?
The dance studio in Westfield
is
going to have a unit dancing in the parade.
Oh, okay. How about that?
Not dancing, parading in the parade.
Okay.
And so everybody come out and watch the parade, which usually there's a big crowd watching it. And, of course, this year it is not going to be quite as joyful as other years, although it's never really joyful. But we have a recent young man from Westfield who lost his life in Afghanistan.
Kevin White.
And, yes. And most of our thoughts will probably be on him, as well as the other veterans that have given their lives for us to enjoy the lives that we do enjoy.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
And I have a question for your guest.
Okay.
Actually, two questions. One is are there telephone numbers that you could call locally for information or whatever you need from the Veterans and Association? And my other question is, I'm not quite sure if I'm right on this, but I understand that there's now when the soldiers suffer the traumatic injuries and mental injuries that they suffered, that there's a place in Buffalo now that they can go for specific treatment for this?
So yes, the answer to the first question is my office phone number is 661-8255.
8255.
661-8255.
Okay.
That will bring you into our office, and we can connect you with the Dunkirk office, or you can be connected to myself or Mike Rao, who's my other service officer in Jamestown. And yes, in answer to your second question, yes, we do have Buffalo Veterans Administration has a ward specifically dedicated to the treatment of traumatic brain injury, TBI, and post-traumatic stress disorder, which now the two are separate. The traumatic brain injury is basically caused by veterans that are coming into contact with explosions where the shock wave is actually moving through and moving their brain around.
Right.
That's happening a lot. It happened in Iraq and Afghanistan from what we call IEDs, improvised explosive devices that are placed on the sides of the roads.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yes, they are doing a very good job of getting our veterans taken care of and evaluated and treated.
Those explosive devices, ironically, are made from weapons we gave them. In most cases, they tell me. They take the bombs and they fiddle them around and make an explosive device out of it that'll knock a tank out.
Right. They're usually, basically, they're even using up to 155 millimeter, howitzer rounds that are exploding.
I'd like to leave this on one note, and it is that now that Osama bin Laden is no longer on this earth, it looks like perhaps we might be seriously thinking about bringing the boys home.
Declare the war over, come home, right.
And it seems to be gathering speed as the days go by, for which I'm thankful. And one other thing. Especially during this weekend, I think of this often, and the young men that served in Vietnam. I believe one thing was learned from that, in that it isn't. I think some of the people, and it was my generation, took out their spite on the soldiers rather than the war or whatever. They didn't receive what they should have received as heroes and so forth when they returned. It wasn't their fault they were over there. They were sent over there. And I think we learned a lesson from that. And even if we're against a war, we're not against our veterans. And I think that's one good thing that came out of that.
Well said. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Send me a stamp envelope. I'll give you $5 off.
All right. Have a nice weekend.
Okay. Happy Veterans Day.
You too.
Or
Bye-bye.
happy Memorial Day, I should say, which we do think of the veterans. At this point, I think we're running out of time. I keep getting that message. So I wanted you to have a couple of minutes, just uninterrupted, to say what you want to say.
Okay. Fair enough. I just want to reiterate the fact that I encourage all of our veterans, whether you're a World War II veteran, Korean War veteran, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, to please contact my agency, and we are here to serve our veterans in our community, who have gone out and done what was asked of them from their country. I will do everything that we can to make sure that if you have a service-connected disability claim, or you have a loved one that needs, that you're aware of that hasn't come down to our office or hasn't filed a claim with the Department of Veterans Affairs, contact me. Give me the referral so we can get out there and take care of our veterans. We're taking care of veterans, like I said, that are coming in now from Vietnam that have never sought any sort of care before. Now they're getting to the point where they're starting to retire, and as they retire, they're finding out that they need some assistance. And as you were saying, Reed, with funding being cut on different programs, what we're doing is we're trying to pick up the slack, and if they're losing their health care or their medical care through, from their retirement with a company, or they're finding out that they can't make ends meet, a lot of times through the different programs that we can link them in with the veterans, we're able to make up that difference, get them into the Veterans Administration, get them the health care that they need. So we do a very comprehensive program at the department, or at the Chautauqua County Veterans Service Agency. I'm going to be out speaking at Sherman, and which actually will be on Monday. I'll be the guest speaker for the Gary Memorial Day Parade, which is tomorrow. So I've got a very active weekend ahead of me, which is I enjoy it tremendously to get out and be amongst our veterans. And we have to look at our veterans organizations that we currently have. Our Disabled American Veterans, Veterans of Foreign War. Make sure that we're supporting them.
We're gone. Just like
that.
Thanks a lot. Troy Smith, Director of the Chautauqua County Veterans Service Agency. If you want to get in touch with him, the number again is 661-8255, and he will probably answer the phone himself if you want him to. They supply a lot of needs for our retired veterans and our active veterans who are wounded, injured, or even not, whatever it is. They got a whole program for you. Get in touch with them. Thank you, caller. Last caller, we haven't got time. Call back next time. Meantime, I want to say thank you to all the people who are watching and called in. Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Randy Burt, Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zook, Don Zenz, John Hamels, and Dan Berg. Everybody out there, have a wonderful, wonderful Memorial Day. Go out to the parades, march in the parade, stand by and grab the candy, whatever you want to do, and don't forget, it's a very, very hallowed moment for many people in our area. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.